Hello and welcome back to WM classes. Today we will be studying about welfare economics. This would be an introductory lecture wherein we will study what actually is welfare economics, who are the main proponents of welfare economics, and what exactly do we study in welfare economics, or what is the scope of welfare economics. First of all, you must be well aware of the term welfare. What is welfare? As we also know, well being, the same is a societal concept of welfare. So, welfare economics is also a branch of economics. It is a branch of economics which evaluates. Now, what its work is to evaluate different economic policies to evaluate different economic policies, but it is evaluating the different economic policies but from the viewpoint of the welfare of the society, but from the viewpoint of the welfare of the society. So, the main purpose of welfare economics is to look after how different economic policies are affecting the society or the welfare of the society. Is it affecting them in a positive way or in a negative way? It deals with the social impacts of the economic decisions. Okay, social impacts. Now, in a state, certain economic decisions are taken. They may be related to construction, they may be related to production, they may be related to distribution, they may be related to allocation of resources. There are different economic what we can say decisions made. Yeah, these economic decisions are made by individuals as well as by the state, right? Now the decisions, these economic decisions, either they are made by the individuals or when they are made by the state, they are bound to impact the society as a whole. Now, what is the impact of these actions on the society? Who will study this? Who will study this impact? Welfare economy. Social impacts and of economic decisions. Of economic decisions. Now, another important function of welfare economics is to focus on the principles. Which principles? Principles of justice and fairness. Okay, so in welfare economics, these two principles are also looked after. If the impacts of certain economic decisions or policies which are taking place in the state, in the area, if they are being fair, if they are being just, so that is also seen in welfare economics, and its function is also to help the state to formulate, to help the state, to help the government to formulate such policies which would benefit all strands of the societies. Policies which would benefit all strands of society, that is, all sections of society. Policies should not be made in such a way that they are helping or they are providing benefit to only one section or two sections of the society, right? They should benefit all the sections of the society. Only then there would be real economic development, because now we are seeing economics not from the viewpoint of just economic growth. We are seeing economics from the viewpoint of economic development, where we need to consider each and every individual. When each and every individual will be led to the path of development, only then we will have real progress and economic development. Now, this was the crust of what welfare economics is, what we study in welfare economics, and what exactly is the function of welfare economics. Now, who are the people who have done the most important works in welfare economics? So, the most important figures who are associated with welfare economics are, first of all, Arthur Pigou, who is also known as the father of welfare economics. Then we have Alfred Marshall. Then we have Pareto, Wilfredo Pareto, who has given the concept of Pareto optimality. We'll study about that as well. John Hicks, and also another famous personality is Nicholas Calder. So these are some of the important figures whose work are very important in welfare economics, and one by one in this series we would discuss all their contributions. Okay. Now coming to the scope of welfare economics. Scope of welfare economics. See, what we study in the introduction is all about the scope of welfare economics, but if we go to notify one by one that what exactly are the scope of welfare economics, in that sense we'll be noting certain points. Okay, first one is the efficiency analysis. Efficiency analysis. What does this mean? That what is the work of welfare economics? Welfare economics, it aims to look at the allocation of different resources, how different resources are being allocated in the society, how well these resources are allocated, are these resources being efficiently allocated or disefficiently allocated. It does so with the principle of Pareto optimality. How does this ensure that efficiency is being served? With the principle of Pareto optimality. Pareto optimality. So, welfare economics, what it does is it aims to ensure efficiency analysis with the help of Pareto optimality. Now, what is Pareto optimality? Pareto optimality states that resources are fully and efficiently allocated. What? Resources are fully and efficiently allocated when no individual can be made better off without making other individual worse off. So, allocation of resources, allocation of resources would be optimal. When would it be optimal? When resources are allocated in such a way that no individual can be made, no individual can be made better off without making other individual worse off. This is actually a stage whereby you can no more allocate resources from one place to another without actually taking off or reducing the welfare of another person. There are no extra resources left. So, efficiency analysis is done under uh, welfare economics with the principle of Pareto optimality. What is Pareto optimality? That resources are distributed Pareto optimally when no individual can be made better off without making any other individual worse off. Okay. So, the second point which we can note down under scope of welfare economics would be equity and distribution. Equity and distribution. What does this mean? That welfare economics studies how the wealth of society is distributed among different sections of the society. Okay, so it is seeing if the resource distribution is equitable or not. Okay, how is it being distributed among the different strands of different sections of the society, and it is also focusing on poverty, focuses on resource distribution, being equitable, also focuses on poverty, inequality, and other such issues, and how these issues can be resolved. It is not only focusing that if poverty is increasing, poverty is decreasing from any economic action that is taking place, but it is also giving way out that how these issues can be resolved. It is providing solutions. So welfare economics is also providing solutions for how poverty and inequality can be reduced from certain economic policies, from certain economic actions. If something is arising, how it can be corrected. Okay, so the third point would be public economics. So the scope of welfare economics is also extended to public economics, wherein we are studying different actions of the government and their effects on the society, such as public expenditure, taxation, social insurance, and other schemes which are aimed at improving the general welfare of the society. So what is public economics? Public economics is generally related to the public expenditure. So when we are studying public expenditure, we are also studying taxation. We are also studying social insurances, because that is where the expenditure is being made, and different schemes that the government is bringing for the aim of the welfare of the society, so that general welfare of the society can be maintained, can be increased, can be achieved. It looks into different actions of the government and their impacts on society and their impact on the society. So which actions? Such as public expenditure, how the public expenditure is affecting the society, then taxation, if the taxation is fair, social insurance, is it actually affecting the poor sections of the society, is it actually reducing the inequality, and other schemes. So another subhead which we are going to study would be externalities. Externalities. The scope of welfare economics is also extended to externalities. Okay, whereby what are externalities? Externalities are generally the positive or negative impact of an individual's action on the other individuals who are not directly related to the act. Okay, so what is externality? Externality is generally positive or negative impact of an individual action on some other party, but this party is not directly related, to the action. Now say if this individual is opening a hospital in an area. Okay, so this person has opened a new hospital in this area where earlier there were lesser medical facilities available, or say no medical facilities available. Now the residents of this area, now they did not give a contribution to this, right? They have not made any contribution, but yet they got positive benefits from this action. So this would be a positive externality for the people who are living in that area. In the same way, there can be negative externality whereby let's say if there is a person, this same person, he has opened an industry and there was this river near the area. Now he is eliminating the waste of the industry into this river area. Now this river area would get polluted and would not be fit for their use. Now these people, they are not getting any direct benefit from the industry, right? They might be getting employment and other things, but again they are not directly related to this construction of industry. That employment and other things would be a positive externality of this industry, of the construction of this industry, but this pollution of river would be a negative externality for the people of this area. Okay, so we were saying that the scope of welfare economics also covers the actions of individuals which can directly impact those who are not associated to it. Okay, now these impacts, the positive impacts or negative impacts, these are generally not included in the market price because these people are not compensated, na? These people are not being compensated. Even if it is a positive externality, they would not be compensated. They would not compensate the individual who has opened the hospital. Or if it is a negative externality, this individual will not go and compensate the people of this area. So this is actually not included in the market price. It also aims to study the allocation of those public goods whose provision cannot be efficiently provided by the market. So market would not always provide the certain goods, like the goods in which the market people will say that we do not have enough benefits. So those goods have to be provided by the government, which are also called as public goods. So the allocation of those goods are also studied under welfare economics. So the last subhead that we are going to study under this, today I have used a lot of energy. Actually I was already tired, but then I thought let's record another lecture. So I might not have been very efficient, but I tried my level best. Hope you all could understand. So the last one is cost benefit analysis. Welfare economics, it also aims to study the relative importance of a policy of a government. What it does is, it studies the relative importance of a policy of a government with respect to the social welfare and the cost involved in the implication of that policy. In short, cost benefit analysis is that amount of cost involved and resultant benefit to the society. Benefit to the society. Actually, before starting any project, this cost to benefit analysis is very important because this will tell the producer or one who is overtaking the project. This would tell them that if spending this much of money is actually worth it or not, if it is going to produce this much of benefits with relation to the cost which is going to be involved in that particular project or not. So if the project is being in which if the project that is being undertaken, right, so if it is not producing, if it is not giving away that much of benefits with respect to cost which is involved in making of that project, then it is futile to go with that project, right? So this cost to benefit analysis is also done under welfare economics. So that's it. I hope you got some insights from the lecture. Thank you so much.